Do you know what I notice when I talk to you, especially if you're a designer at the top of your game, right? You're consistently closing high-end bathroom projects because you understand something other designers might miss. You understand that it isn't just about specifying beautiful tile, plumbing fixtures, and lighting. It's also about giving your client a compelling reason to say yes to the investment. And right now, steam and sauna are becoming part of that reason. Your clients are right now talking about wellness differently. They want spaces that help them recover, recharge, and feel good in their homes, not just beautiful spaces that are also useful spaces, restorative spaces. And that's why I think Mr. Steam is doing something especially smart for you. They've been making steam systems since 1917, but what I really appreciate is the virtual spa tool they created especially for the industry. You enter the shower dimensions, the wall materials, and your client's wish list, and it gives you a complete spec package with list pricing. No guesswork, no endless back and forth, no trying to cobble together the right system yourself. Now, go to luannigara.com/Mr. Steam, right? luannigara.com/Mr. Steam. And if you are working with clients right now who care about health, wellness, fitness, and recovery, this is worth 10 minutes of your time. Welcome to A Well-Designed Business. My name is Luann Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. If you've spent any time watching design and renovation television over the last 10 years, you probably know my guest today, Jasmine Roth. Jasmine is a designer, builder, and star of HGTV's Hidden Potential and Help, I Wrecked My House, along with an upcoming brand new series, Roast My Rental. And while we might think of HGTV as glitz and glamour, what I noticed, and I picked up about Jasmine right off the bat, is she is also an incredibly savvy business owner. Now, over the years, we've heard from designers who have landed TV programs before, and we've always discovered that there's an intersection of hard work and preparing to be lucky. But Jasmine has a unique and frankly refreshing take on what you really need in order to succeed, stand out, and get noticed. She believes that the path to success drills down to authenticity, which we both acknowledge is a buzzword to throw around and that we struggle with. But you know what? The word still means something. And Jasmine's insights are lessons that we all need to learn, whether we want to end up on TV or just want to grow our businesses or make them stronger. You know, it's the importance of the hard work and loving what you do. That's where it comes together. Now, before we meet Jasmine, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Mr. Steam. And Mr. Steam is asking you to take a moment and think about your clients and the ones that are serious about how they physically feel. We're talking about the ones who golf, who train, who are up early and intentional about their health. They're already spending money on recovery, the gym memberships, the equipment, the coaching. Well, it's time for you to educate them that steam and sauna at home is a natural next step and a possible next step. When you are the designer who brings them that option with a clear reason and complete specifications ready to go, you become the designer who thinks of everything. And great news for you, Mr. Steam has a guide called the Performance and Recovery Guide. This guide explains what steam and sauna do for the body, for muscle recovery, for circulation, for better sleep, in the kind of language to help you present the idea with confidence, not in brochure speak. So I suggest you go get your free download today at luannigara.com/Mr. Steam. The link will be in the show notes, but that's luannigara.com/Mr. Steam. Okay, let's hear from Jasmine Roth on the ins and outs of HGTV, the importance of strong business practices, and why being true to yourself is the only way to stand out in our industry. I would say in any industry, my friends. Okay, let's meet Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine, thanks so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So, all right, there's a few different places to go with this conversation off the bat. I think we're just going to take that elephant over on the corner and just stick him in the middle of the room here, which is, you've got several successful forays into HGTV. One show that we mentioned in the intro, running for 5 years. A couple of things you're going to talk to us about. And I said to you, and you laughed when I said it, because I know you know it to be true as well. It's a crazy thing in the interior design industry. I just had a lunch and learn here at our business yesterday, and I had 40 designers here, and something came up about HGTV. But here's the funny thing, Jasmine. It never comes up in a positive light. But
Right.
Meanwhile, I know dozens of designers that would give their right arm to be on HGTV. So it's always like, oh, that just teaches consumers it costs $20 and it takes 20 minutes. And so you have to say, in the 15, 20 minutes I'm getting to know you, seem like a pretty down-to-earth and level-headed gal. So tell us, what do you want us to know about doing an HGTV show, your positives, the negatives, the fun, all of that?
Well, I think it's fair, right? I think HGTV gets a bad rap, but I think some of it is well-deserved. And my show, it's just the nature of making a TV show. It's the same thing with social media, though. I will say, if anything, social media might have outpaced linear television or network television at this point, because now on social media, what might have taken an hour or half an hour on regular network TV now takes about 30 seconds on social media. So you think you got a problem? I don't think HGTV is your problem. I think it's social media. Even I get caught up. I'll watch something. I'm like, oh, that looks easy. I'll just do that. And then I'm like, wait, I actually know how hard that is and how much time and planning and, the trades and just everything that went into that and the money. There's no way it was that easy. But the problem is it does look that easy, and our brains, we can't compute. So we just think it is that easy, or it is that inexpensive, or it is going to not take that much time. So, it happens to the best of us. And I deal with it too, right? I have clients who are constantly like, yeah, well, let's just do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, you can do one of those things, maybe, So, I think it's just the nature of the time that we live in, where everything looks easy and it's not.
Yeah. It's funny because you're making me laugh when you'd say, I'm sorry, let's point a finger at social here. Because you're 100% right. The ones that I love, and I know you're going to be familiar with it, the ones that I love on Instagram are these young girls like your age, and
Ooh, I'm young?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, right. But they probably have 3 or 4 little kids running around the house. And in this weekend, they're just going to put wainscoting up in their foyer.
Yeah.
Look at the before and after. And they've got the table saws and the circular saw, and they're glue gunning it. And I'll be like, God, that would, and I'm like, stop. You couldn't have the patience to figure out what wood to buy, let alone how to cut it. You know what I mean? But you're right. It makes it look like 5 EV steps, and in 45 seconds, the whole foyer is transformed by wainscoting, right?
Yeah. No, and it's hard too, like being a creator in this industry. I think we all watch those videos and then it's like, well, maybe I should be doing that. Like maybe I
Mhm.
should be, you're comparing yourself all of a sudden.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I didn't put up wainscoting and redo my whole daughter's bedroom. And I mean, I did my daughter's nursery, and I'm sure anybody that watches my show on HGTV saw that it was a big transformation, and it made it look like it was quick, but not social media quick, but it was TV quick, but it was really a lot of work. And I had to bring in all different trades and carpenters and wallpaper installers and painters. And I mean, it was a lot. And then I see this video, 30-second clip, and it's like, help me redo my daughter's room in 6 easy steps. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And it's not. That's why social media is dangerous, right? Because you start to compare yourself, and it's really easy to feel inadequate, I think.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
have to realize that it's not that easy.
No, no. Well, and that's the crux of it, right? Designers like yourselves that actually get up and do the work, whether it's a 30-minute TV show or a 3-minute reel or 60-second reel, you guys know that it isn't this, that you do know that it isn't. But there is inspiration in it, right? There is the possibility of it. Like I would never even thought I mean, I always look at the one where they take like, how like you have that triangle underneath a staircase.
Yeah.
And they put like the I don't know what it's called, like the picture molding on it, and then they push it, and all of a sudden it's a storage area, and I'm like, and it's like this like 20-pound soaking wet woman doing this whole thing.
Yeah, I will say, like, I think that's where HGTV does do a okay job, or at least I try to on my show, of doing a good job of like showing that, hey, you can do this, but it's going to take a carpenter, and it's going to take, part of your budget, and it's cool. I have that in my own house. I have a shoe pull out storage under my staircase.
Yeah.
People love it. But at the same time, it's something that you can't just do in a weekend, right? I mean, so we do try to show a little bit of the process, but it's hard. I mean, people, including myself, we know it takes more time. We know it takes more money, but we still get caught up. And I do like social media, and I spend a lot of time on social media because I find it very inspirational.
Yes.
You just have to have it with the caveat that you can't compare yourself. And then also that, just use it for just that. Use it for inspiration, but know that it's not going to be as easy or as simple or as inexpensive as it looks.
I know. And what's so funny, we're talking like as if the people who are listening to us on this show don't know that. It's like, no,
they do.
they're the ones
but
that
even
know it.
I know it, and I forget. I need to be
it.
reminded all the time. I actually post on my social media like, hey, Instagram's a highlight reel. Hey, because I'm reminding myself, right? I get caught up, and I'll be like, why do I not feel good today? Like, why am I not feeling like great about what I'm doing? And it's because I've been on social media too much and I'm comparing myself. So I think it happens to all of us, and it's a good reminder.
Yeah. Now the one show, the one it's been on for 5 years, Help I Wrecked My House. Tell us a little bit about it. I'm sure a lot of the designers listening are familiar with it, but tell us a little bit about it. And I guess also your experience being on it. So now we're not talking to consumers. That we're talking to designers, like, the good, bad, and ugly of being on a show beyond, what it's doing to the industry. We get it. That's what it is. And that's up to the designers to educate. But now give them the backstory of being on a show like that. What are the constraints and what happens?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting, right? You mentioned at the beginning that, a lot of designers, they do have a bone to pick with HGTV. But on the flip side, if given the opportunity, would probably love an HGTV
Nobody's
show.
Closing the door. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are a select few of us who have had that opportunity. And I will say, like, it's a wonderful opportunity, but it does keep you from doing a lot of other things, probably, right? So from a design perspective, I think it's probably important to keep in mind that, well, yes, I have this show. If you go on my website, you see that my company, Built Custom Homes, we will do a few new builds here and there, but for the most part, I've had to, I'm doing virtual consulting, but I'm not taking on clients. I don't have the time. There's no way, right? I'm filming. So my show, I've had a show called Hidden Potential. I did two massive seasons of that. And now I've had 5 seasons of my own show called Help I Wrecked My House. And they're it's just me. So at the end of the day, like, I'm there. And to make about, 10 to 12 episodes takes 6 months. Wow. So that's 6 months of my year that I am not doing other things. I mean, and not just from a business standpoint, but like in life, like I'm not having lunch with friends. I'm not, barely, it's just the bare minimum. It is my family. It is, maybe a workout every now and then, maybe a doctor's appointment. But like when I wrap, I have to catch up, right, on all of these things that I've kind of just like kept the lights on, but let fall by the wayside. There's no way I could take clients. There's absolutely no
Yeah.
way. Now on the show, obviously I'm taking clients and I'm servicing them in an exceptional manner, but I know better. I know I can't take clients outside of that. So unless you have a really big team, and even then I've heard that I know I've talked to some people who have struggled. Having a TV show is all consuming.
Yeah.
It is 100% of your time. It is a huge commitment, and you have to really love it. Just like with anything, you have to really love it, or at least love aspects of it enough that keep you coming back, because otherwise it's a grind and it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's like it's funny because it feels like, I think mistakenly, and you're illustrating the flaw in the thinking. It feels like, well, it's designed, so it's part of what I'm doing. But it's no different if somebody said, "Do you want to be the ambassador to, wherever for 6 months?" It's like you're not doing that while you're traveling the country, back and forth to Washington. Why did I pick that analogy? I had the slightest idea. Because any of us are going to be ambassador in our part time, right? But you know what I'm saying? It's like there's really the only thing that's related is that you're manipulating design elements, but it is a completely different get up every day and focus in a business, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you're focusing on this thing that you've committed yourself to, and you have a whole team of people that are going to make sure that you're not doing anything else, and
Yeah.
that's great. That's how you make a good. I mean, my show has been renewed 7 seasons in a row. I have new
Wow.
shows coming out. I've done all of the HGTV like competition, big tent pole. We built a house for the Barbie house. We've done all these amazing projects, and I am so grateful for the experience. But I will say to the designers who are like, oh, I wish I could have an HGTV show or have that opportunity, right? Maybe
Yeah.
a production company has reached out and said, hey, you have really interesting content, or hey, I love what you're doing. Maybe you would like a show. Just take it with a grain of salt. Like, know what you're getting into, because, I always say I'm lucky, and I don't talk about this very much, but my husband, he is not in design. He's not in construction. We've been together since college. And so we have this interesting dynamic where I always say he has a real job, which is funny because we both have real jobs and we both work a lot, but he has a real job and he's able to have that consistent paycheck and the benefits and all of these things that I don't necessarily have. I'm an independent contractor. I'm at the will of a massive network who, may or may not have the same idea or priorities that, next year that they had this year. And that's totally fine. And I know what I'm signing up for. But if you are the breadwinner of your family and then you're taking on this new opportunity of being on television, it's definitely a financial thing to think about, because
Right. Because
it's
it's not
very
stable. There's nothing
it's
promised
not
about it,
stable.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's huge opportunity, but there's also like some really big downsides. So
Mhm.
I think, from that standpoint, people are just like, oh my gosh, I would like, how did you get your show? I'd love to have a show. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but do you know what that even means?
So, and a little bit in that. So, do we know what that even means? What are one or two things that might surprise a designer listening about the hard parts? Now, you just mentioned the instability of the paycheck. Your life is not your own. Somebody can cancel you. Somebody can renew you. You can't stand there and pound your feet and say, no, no, I want to be renewed. So beyond that, like the day to day, what are some of the things that might surprise somebody as far as the things that you said you have to love it, and you qualified and said you have to love most of it. So what are some of the things you're like, this is not a part that I love, but it's worth it because I love these other 10 parts? What's something in that line, Jasmine?
Well, I think the difference is you have a camera in your face. So think about running your own business, right? We all are doing, if you're a business owner, you are doing it because there's an aspect of it that you love, right?
Mhm.
So what I learned very quickly when I started my business was that probably only 10% of my time was spent doing the thing that I actually started the business to do, right? If you're a
Exactly.
designer, you started a business because you're probably really creative and you love helping people and you love the design world and you want to, pick out different fabrics and paint colors. And somebody told you were good at it. And you probably are. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like if you're running a design business, the amount of time that you spend actually doing those things that you love is minimal.
Right.
And so, just similar to that, you're still doing the same, you're still spending your time in the same way, where what you actually really love doing is probably a very small fraction of your overall time. And you're doing a lot of, in a design business, you have to, you have personnel, you have your taxes. I always talk about taxes. You have your accounting, you have your bookkeeping, you have your, all the other things.
Logistics, all the stuff that's
Oh,
in the
you're
back
meeting with
end.
your attorney and you got this going
Exactly.
and yeah, you have to do all these other things to keep your business afloat. And none of that has anything to do with design, but you have to be good at that or you're going to go under. So on the flip side of that, it's the same thing on TV, except you have a camera in your face.
Okay.
So you're doing these things that maybe aren't your favorite, but you have to get through it with a camera in your face. And so there's no opportunity to not do them, right? Which I think has been a great learning experience for me, right? If you're a business owner and there's things that you don't like, maybe
Yeah,
you
you can push it to the curb.
you kind of push it off. You kind of, if you're doing it right, you find somebody who's better at it than you are and you're able to delegate it. And that's been a huge part of my business over the years. But that said, you're still going to have to do things you don't want to do. When there's a camera in your face and those things you got to just smile through it and you got to do it and you have to, you know what I mean? And some days are hard, right? No matter what business you're in, some days are harder than others. And so you got to make it through and you got to give it your best and you got to show up. And so, yeah, you have to really have, for me, it's been like I don't know. I've been doing this for what? I started in 26 for 10 years. It's been a 10-year boot camp of you're going to smile through this. I love it. I love a lot of it. There are a lot of aspects that I love. And maybe some of the things that I didn't love at the beginning, I love now. And like, you grow and you change. But there's definitely parts of any business that you're going to come in contact with where you're like, I don't really want to do this today, but you got to do it. And you're going to have a camera in your face. So you better like it. So I think from that standpoint, like if you think about your personality type, right? And again, this is somebody who's like, oh, I'd love to have an HGTV show. Well, it's not for everybody because you really do have to get through every single day and you have to show up with a smile on your face and that energy. You have to bring that energy, which is not something that I think, here's what I liken it to. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation. You're a little bit nervous. You may have prepared, but you always feel like you could have prepared more. You don't know how it's going to go. You've got that like butterfly in your stomach feeling. And it's something that, you have to get up, you have to do your makeup, you have to get dressed, you have to get out the door, you have to have eaten a good meal, you need to be well hydrated, you need a good night's sleep. Well, if you have a TV show, that's every single day. There's no room for like, oh, I think I'm just going to like play on my phone and take it easy today or just like kind of mentally check out for half the day. No, it's not an option, especially if it's your own show. So like from that standpoint, I think like I said, I've been in boot camp where like I can perform or, live at this level of like, no, you're working, you're doing it, which has been great for other aspects of my life because I can really take that and use it.
Use it in other places. So when you say you're going to film a season in 6 months, is it Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 9 to 5, 9 to 10? Like, are you on the road? Are you filming on outside of your home base is Utah? So are you filming or are you at the point where we do all the shoots in Utah? So I get back to see my kids and my husband every night? Like, where's that?
Well, it depends on the show. Okay, so my personal show, Help I Wrecked My House, I moved with me to Utah. The HGTV has been so supportive, right? I've had 2 kids since I've had my show. I've moved. I've moved my business. It's been a lot. But yeah, they moved the show with me, which was amazing. So my last season was here in Utah. A normal shoot day is a 12-hour shoot day. And so that's, usually with construction, we get up early and we start early. So we'll start cameras rolling around, 6:30. Trades get there at 7 and everybody's working because then the trades leave around 3 or 4. And then you bring in all the other folks that maybe aren't on that schedule. So yeah, they're long days. And, but as I've gotten more ingrained in my career, I've been able to, just work around my family schedule a bit more. And again, HGTV's been awesome and really supportive of that.
So,
but yeah, I mean, you're, like I said, it's all consuming. You literally don't have time to do anything else. On a shoot day, you are shooting and that's it.
Well, and what I'm hearing is that HGTV has been supportive of you, but they also have a track record with you. You've proven to them that you're worth the bet and the risk. But it sounds like for many of the days, even at this stage, and definitely probably in the early days before they were like, yeah, all in on Jasmine, there were probably days you left and your kids were asleep and you came home and they're still asleep.
Yeah, well, ever since I've had kids, I've definitely taken a step back from that schedule, or at least I've tried to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's, a lot of us with any job, it's that, being a parent, a working parent, it's a
Yeah.
tough balance. I've actually done a lot of podcasts as guests on a lot of podcasts where that's all we talk about.
Oh,
It's just
really?
like, how do you do it all? And I'm like, I don't do it all. And they're like, how do you carry the mom guilt? And I'm like, I'm not doing a good job. But it's really hard, like I always say everybody wants a piece of Jazzy, jokingly, but it's like, no matter what I do, I'm letting somebody down at some point. And that's, that's just part of having a lot going on and having a successful business career, and then trying to be like the best parent and partner and sister and daughter and friend and all the other things you have to be, right? And like,
mom.
yeah, let me just keep listing that off, right? So it's constant. Yeah, there's never like a day when it's like, oh, I've done all the things I could possibly have done today.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
and I
sit
think
here.
the difference is because, obviously the audience here is, probably 85% entrepreneurs and own their
Mhm.
own business. And so every one of us has been there. Oh, I thought I was leaving. And then I just got a phone call that everything blew up and I've got to go to the job site and I'm not going to be able to pick up my kid after school. I have to get my mother to do it or whatever. But the trade-off is if I have had 4 or 5 days like that in a row, or even 2 or 3 weeks like that, I can go to my calendar and block it out and say, this day is off the books. I am taking my own kids to school. I am picking my own kids up, or I'm going to pick my mom up and take her to lunch. Or I don't know, I'm going to get my hair colored because the grays are 4 inches deep, right? It's like, but on what I'm hearing on the TV show is, yeah, Jasmine, see you in 6 months when you want to schedule that day, right? It's just like
Yeah.
pony up every day, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
part of that too is just being really super ultra organized, so
Yeah.
that like, hey, I mean, getting the hair done is a great example. Like, I have this appointment, I am not missing it. Like, cuz like, this is the
That's the
time.
time to get it done.
You have, yeah, and I have people that have been with me for a long time, just because maybe I need to get my nails done. I'm going to go in at, I'll go in at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they know, like, oh, okay, this is Jasmine's appointment. It's at 6 a.m. So it's finding that team of people that can work around a
Yeah.
crazy schedule. And then also, like, building a village, which it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. My mom moved to Utah with us, which was hugely helpful. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they visit and spend a lot of their time here in Utah with the grandkids, and just making sure that, there's that balance of family being around. And then also I've given up a lot, and I'm okay with that. And all parents sacrifice, all business owners sacrifice. But the sacrifices have been things that I can give up.
Yeah.
So, I say to my husband sometimes, I'm like, it's not that it's not going to come back, but I'm not like going for a Saturday afternoon wine tasting. I can tell you that much. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, there's just so many. If I go to somebody's birthday party, I'm there for an hour and a half. I'm not there for 5 hours. Like, it's just it's quick. It's everything's scheduled. And that's just the season that I'm in right now. And that's okay.
And you're making clear choices, it's like, it's so funny because, it was recently Mother's Day and, you get, it's funny, all the different things. Like have one message from a dear friend who's like, oh, I hope your kids surrounded you. My kids are all grown kids and I've got 3 grandchildren now, 6, 8, and 10. I hope all of your kids and grandchildren are around you and they were pampering you. And I'm like, yeah, that is the last thing I would ever do on Mother's Day. Like, I have never on Mother's Day, I'm like, don't take me to dinner. I don't want to stand in line for 3 hours to have the same meal that tomorrow we could walk right in and sit down. I have spent most of my Mother's Days working, right? It's like my husband, what do you want to? I want to get caught up. Here, you do them so I can get caught up. Whether that caught up is when I was younger and the kids were younger, laundry, grocery shopping, getting orders and quotes done at Window Works, or now getting ahead on shows. It's like, it's funny because we have all the different things that mean something to us. And to your point, it's choices. I'm going to go to a birthday party for an hour and a half rather than 5 hours in Chuck E. Cheese and everything else. You're just going to show up and support your friend and their kids or whatever it is. Like, we do have to do us, right? We
Yeah.
do have to find, and you've got a crazy busy schedule, but you like, to your point, you find the woman that will do your nails at 6 a.m. And if she doesn't, it's fine. It's her prerogative. There's somebody else who will, if you ask, right?
Yeah, and I think too, like, it's just taking a hard look at how you spend your time, right? Like
Mm.
I'm literally, it sounds miserable because I'm so scheduled, but I don't mind it because that's how I can feel sane.
Yeah.
So, people are like, "Oh, have you watched any shows lately? What's your favorite movie right now?" And I'm like, "I haven't watched a show in, I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I watched a movie, truly." Like it's just
Yeah.
there isn't a little literal minute in my day to sit down and do that. And that's
Yeah.
okay, right? It'll come back around. I
Yeah.
know the time will come when I'll be like to my husband, "Hey, do you want to watch a show?" And he'll probably fall out of his chair because he'll be like, "Wait, what? You're gonna sit and watch a show?"
We're going to have to sign up for all the channels because we don't have
Which is
them.
ironic because I
We
have
have
a
Disney
TV
for
show,
the kids anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and I
So
think that was kind of the point I was making. It's like often people will decide when they look at your life, oh, that can't be good. It can't be good that you don't watch TV, Jasmine. It can't be good that you don't have time for this. And it's like, there are people like when I use the mother, oh my God, don't tell me you worked all day. It's like, that's what this is the season of this part of my life. That's what
Mhm.
I want to do now. I'm doing it by choice, right? And you're enjoying it. It's the same, like my neighbor said, what did you do? I said, I worked all day. He's like, you like your work, don't you? I said, I love my work. I love what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think you're not watching a TV show. I'm not hearing, gosh, I wish I was up on all the shows. It's like, it's a season of life choice for you, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
once in a while, I'll be at a dinner party and everybody's talking about the shows they've watched. And I'm like, oof, like I am the most
That one
boring
was,
person in the world because I have literally nothing to contribute to this conversation other than I have a TV show, which nobody wants to hear about. So I'm like, I'll just sit there. Like I have nothing to say. But no, for the most part, I think that, I've been really intentional about my
yeah,
time and
good for you.
I have some regrets as we all would, but for the most part, the way that I get through it and, spend the most time with my family and do the things that I really love and still take care of myself, is to just be so intentional.
Mm.
And it's the time you don't realize that like in the beginning, right, when I first got a TV show, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty organized. I've got good time management. I know how I spend my time. But quickly, very quickly, you start to realize, wow, there's a lot of downtime. And maybe it's watching a TV show. Maybe
Yes.
it's scrolling on your phone. Maybe it's, just even doing something that you think you have to do that is silly that someone else could do.
That's right.
And that's, so you start getting into the carpool, you start, thinking about really taking a hard look at how you're spending your time. And that has been huge for me. There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
And so trying to fill those hours with things that really bring me joy, help build my happiness, but also, can keep me sane in the sense that like, okay, I'm getting done what I need to get done.
Yeah.
And also it's managing, this is another big part of it, managing what you take on.
Yes.
Right. I know a lot of designers. I work with a lot of designers. So I know a lot of designers who are just like the sweetest, nicest, most creative people in the whole world. And they really don't say no to very much. And I am not that person. I'm sweet, I'm nice, but I'm not the nicest, sweetest person in the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
and I also have a business background. I went to school, my undergrad degree is in entrepreneurship and new venture management. And so
Good
I
for
got
you.
that like business background early on. And so I've had the, I don't know, it's been a benefit to be able to treat my business like a business from day one. And coming at it from that standpoint versus like, oh, I really enjoy doing this. I think I'm going to turn it into a business, which is, an aspect of it, but really it's more like, how are you going to make money doing this? Anyway, my point is that I've said no to a lot of things, especially early in my career. I said no to a lot of things.
Mm.
And it's kind of, one of my big sayings is if somebody gives you a seat at the table, you show up, you take that seat, you show up, and then you give it your absolute best. And they have to wonder how they ever would have had that event or that, how they would have had that
Done that
happen without you there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's something that's been a guiding light for me in my career, which kind of is contradictory to the idea of like, you have to say no to things, right? Because it's like, wait, I just got a
You
seat
have
at
to
the table.
conserve the ability to be 110% at the ones you say yes to. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, and I think you have to be
Strategy.
Yeah, you have to, what happens is like, I had a coach once, she's great, and she told me, you have to be open to the magic. You have to be ready for that next opportunity. And I know you talk about this a lot as well, where it's like, if you're not set up, if you're maxed out because you've taken on all these little stupid projects that you shouldn't be doing, and you have a pit in your stomach when you take it on, let alone when you finish it, there are going to be opportunities that you just miss. You can't do them, or they don't even come your way because you're so busy, caught up in the day to day, and you miss these big opportunities. And so, yeah, from the beginning, I've had to make really strategic decisions, I would say, as to like, these are the projects I'm going to take on, and this is why. Like for me,
Mm,
I started a new construction and we started building homes, and I literally stayed in like a 10-block radius.
I
Building in
love
Southern
that.
California. We were in Orange County. I lived in Huntington Beach. I knew a few builders, and that's what I did. I just
I love
built.
it.
I people from Newport, nope, sorry. People
Yep.
from Costa Mesa, sorry, can't do it. Nope, I'm staying. And said, nope, I'm going to stay in the bubble. Even to the point where my husband was like, maybe you should like, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to
Cross
stay
the
in the bubble
border. Nope.
because I know that I can get the economies of scale. I know that
Yes.
I know the city. I know the inspectors. I know, all these things where it's like, no, this is what's going to work for me right now. And sure enough, I had built enough homes at the end of that little, part of my career where HGTV, that's what they saw. That was the first thing they saw. And they were like, oh, you've done, and I invited them out and they came to visit. And I was like, I built that house and that house and that house. I mean, we're literally walking. We weren't even driving. I'm like, and I built that house and and that for me is what worked. And that was the way that I was able to be ready when HGTV called, that I could even say, yeah, I'd love to film a sizzle. I'd love to film a pilot, because my projects were so condensed and they were so intentional, I would say. So I think there's a lot of that as well, where like just saying yes to the right things, and really what it comes down to is saying no to the right things, can give us the opportunity to say yes to the bigger things, to take that
Right.
seat at the table. And then
I
you have
love
to perform, because that's
Yeah,
the
well, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When you get the opportunity, you gotta come through, right?
But if you're so burnt out when that opportunity arises, and maybe you say yes, and then you sit down at the table and you're just a shell, right? You're just
Mhm.
there and you can't even bring it. You can't even step it up. That's not good either. So
Right.
I think it's a matter of like, figuring out, for me, it's my off season, but for, business owners, it's like figuring out, okay, whatever's next, I can't be burnt out when I get to whatever's next. So how do I get to that next level without completely burning myself out? And usually the answer is building a team and delegating.
Right.
That's what I've
Right.
found.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
But, for everybody, it's a little bit different.
Are you looking to build an exceptional team? Our hiring toolkit bundle at luannigara.com/store is your comprehensive source for success. Craft compelling job descriptions, know the right interview questions to ask, and implement a thorough evaluation process so you get the right person. These were developed in collaboration with my cousin Eileen Hahn and based on her 40 years of experience in building exceptional teams, plus my insights from 1,000 plus interviews. Our toolkits are tested and proven. Whether you're scaling from 1 to 3 or from 3 to 10 or from 10 to 20, the Hiring Toolkit Bundle provides the guidance that you can use to plan your hiring strategy effectively. Go to luannigara.com/store and invest in your success by investing in the success of your team. So, question for you in there, Jasmine. When you were doing the strategy of building the houses within the one city limits, all great reasons, love it. Were you did did they just find you? Was it like you were doing it on social? Did you pitch them? Because that's what a lot of designers also wonder: do I pitch, or do they just find the unicorn out there that is getting something done?
I think that it's a great question. So I was building these houses within the bubble. I started doing it I was working in corporate America. I was working full time in corporate America, and my husband and I saw an opportunity. We knew a builder, and we saw a piece of land that our real estate agent brought to us that we could get. And we were like, okay, let's do this. So we bought the land, we cleared it. But, and when I say we had people that were doing it because we were full time in corporate America, both of
Right.
us.
You were overseeing it. You were
Yeah.
producing it.
We were the investors, and then
Yeah.
one of the homes, so we were going to build 2 houses on this piece of land. One was for us and one was to sell to offset the cost of our house, which the way that Huntington Beach real estate works, that was a great plan. And we'd seen this builder do it multiple times, and his family, my husband's family, had been involved in one of those just from they were the buyer on one of those. So we kind of had a little bit, we kind of knew what we were getting into.
Had a little path inside to how it works a little bit.
Yeah, but it was a huge risk and it was a huge
Yeah.
investment. And, we were a few years into it and we realized how much we had taken on and how little we were moving forward. And so that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to leave my corporate job and I'm going to go do this. I'm going to like finish these homes. I'm going to sell one. I had to have my real estate license in college. So it wasn't like completely outlandish to say, I'm going to manage these teams. I never thought I would do this as a career or like be a designer per se. I was like, but I'm going to go and just manage this the way I would manage something in corporate America. There's going to be spreadsheets, there's going to be timelines, there's going to be agendas, and there's going to be a lot of accountability.
Yeah.
And that was very different for the construction industry at that time. There wasn't a lot of that floating around. So I got there, and then the flip side of that was I showed up the way I kind of show up to everything, which was like, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this industry, but I'm willing to learn. And I think that went a long way with the people that I was working with, because they'd been in this industry for 20, 30 plus years. And if I had shown up and just said, hey, I'm some hot shot that's going to like rock your world, that would not have gone over well.
Right.
Showing up with that humility and just saying like, hey, I don't know anything about carpentry, but I'd love to understand what you're doing and how long it's going to take so I can put it in this spreadsheet right
Yeah, I
here.
just want to make my spreadsheet accurate.
Yeah, that's all
Any
you have to
answer is
do.
a good answer. Just tell me the answer. I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly.
judging the answer, right?
But with that, I was able to start this business. And on the flip side, these projects took a really long time, right? So we're talking 1 to 2+ year builds. I was like having a lot of fun on Pinterest. I love magazines. I love the HGTV shows. Like I was an HGTV fan. I never thought about having an HGTV show, but I was a huge fan. I watched all the shows. I love a magazine. And so I had all these ideas, and now suddenly I had time and I was like, I'm going to do this, but I wasn't going to like take on clients necessarily. So I just started working for friends and family for free. And I was like, the only thing is that you have to let me take pictures, and you have to let me, take before and after pictures and post them online. And they were all like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm at work.
Whatever.
I don't care. Like, go redo my patio. Have fun. And so that's exactly what I did. And I took pictures and I posted them online, and maybe I was out like with chalk paint stenciling somebody's patio, or maybe I was, I don't know, my real estate agent, she was like, hey, we have some rental properties. Do you want to come like help me redo them, pick paint colors, do all that? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'm running to Home Depot. I'm doing all the things. And I loved it. And I took a lot of pictures and videos. And then at the same time, we had bought a small, we call it the tiny mountain home. And anybody that's followed me knows all about it. But there's a small little project here in Utah that was a vacation home that we had purchased with some of our family members. And I came out and I did it myself. And this was a few years in, right? I felt like I knew, in retrospect, I knew very little. But at the time, I thought I knew a lot. And I made videos. And it was before you could even post videos on Instagram. So really, it was YouTube. I posted them on YouTube. So to answer your question, a production company was looking for talent. They were looking for new shows. They'd come out of an HGTV meeting where HGTV had said, hey, we want a show at the beach. We want to find somebody that is doing big things at the beach. Never mind that my production company, they're all from Canada and they're from Toronto, and they were like, we want to go to the beach. So they had one of their, development folks looking around, and there was a hashtag beach build that I had put on one of my new builds that I had just finished that I had for sale. So she's smart. She was smart on her part, was searching hashtag beach build. She saw my build. But it wasn't just that, right? Because there's a lot of people who build beautiful homes and have them for sale, and that's not really a differentiator. Then she found my social media, and it's all these like, oh, like she's actually doing things she loves and just posting them. I had 1,500 followers. They were like, it was like my mom and her friends from high school, like it wasn't like, and so hashtag beach build. And then she found the social media and saw some of these more like DIY type things. Then she found the YouTube, and it's like me with my selfie. I'm in a blizzard. I'm trying to get this toilet inside, but I don't know how because it's so icy. And I'm like, and it was real life. And so from that, I think that was enough for them to at least reach out. Yeah. And so I think, I've given this advice many times over the years, and I stand by it. It's like, if you're doing something you love, share that. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to post things because you think that's what somebody's looking for or that's what they want to see. You just post what you're doing, because what you're doing is interesting. Nobody else is doing what you're doing. You're one of a kind, right? So if you're posting what you're doing and it's interesting to you, that's going to come through. Right. And so suddenly you're engaging because you're engaged. And so I think that helped a lot, just the authenticity of it. Now, social media, everybody talks about authenticity. It's the buzzword, right? But at the time, social media was a totally different beast.
Yeah.
But so I think just posting what you love.
Yeah. It's funny because I just did a Zoom a month or so ago with a bunch of designers. A group invited me to speak with them. And it is hard to use the word authenticity now because it has become so overused. But there was a question. It was like, how do you, it was a question. I don't remember it exactly. And if the person is listening that asked it to me, I'm going to mess it up. But it was something along the lines of, how do you do it? How do you have the energy to just show up and do these things? Or how do you know if it's the right thing to do or say, or how, and every which way that the question, I heard it, the only thing I could hear is exactly that. And I said, I hate to use the word authentic because it's started to mean nothing. It's like expensive. It's like luxury. It's almost starting to mean nothing, but it, at its core, has a definition, and that definition is being you. And the question also was around, how do you be heard in all the noise? And I was like, you're never going to be heard in noise if you are deciding you should say a thing a certain way, if you are deciding, this is what people want to hear. It's literally repeating what you just said, Jasmine. It's like, if it makes sense to you, if it feels good to you, if you are engaged, you use that same phrase. If you're engaged, you'll be engaging. You can't look and say, what should I say to show up to be one in the noise? It if either is you or it isn't, because you can't keep up the facade, right? You can't decide I should talk every day about this, and then the fifth day you're bored. It's the same way when I came up with the podcast. I knew enough to know that I wanted to go into a tiny industry-ish, right? 80,000 designers in the US, right? And how many across the world? So tiny-ish. But I also knew that I only had gas to speak about business. It's the only thing. I spent 3 months searching my soul. I wanted to do a podcast. I was committed to doing it. And I was like, I went through everything that I enjoyed doing. I went through my experiences as a mother. There's so many experiences there that I could talk about all day long. I went through my experiences of being an athlete, so many. But I was like, and I was like, the only thing I could get up every day and talk about is business. I know I can for a long time. But then it was, and what niche? And then it was like, okay, we call it our Erica Ward transferable skills. I'm like, what do I know? And I'm like, well, you've been in the home decor industry for 40 years, and it was like just constantly bringing it to the clarity of the lightning strike of business and design. And so, but if I only talked business, I would have been one of hundreds of thousands of business podcasters. Right. Hard to be, noticed in that. But if I was going to allow the show to talk about how do I really decide if I want a ceiling that's wood and a wall that's tile, I would have been like, okay, I have patience for that for about 30 seconds. Right. I don't really care how you decide if the ceiling should have wood on it. I really don't care. It looks great. I'm so glad your ceiling has wood on it, Jasmine. But I don't care the thought process that gets you there. Right. But your thought process of how you say yes and no to things and how you strategically decided the bubble, that process I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Well, and you talk about, getting past 10 episodes, right? As a podcaster a lot. it's the same thing in your day-to-day life. I mean, if I can't even tell you how many times people have come up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, your social media, like, how do you do it all?" And I'm like, "Well, it is a lift and it is something that, I've committed myself to, but at the same time, I really like it. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy my social media because my social media is me and it's easy. I'm not like, yeah, occasionally I'll take on, a project where I'm like, "Oh, this was too much. Like, this was silly. I have over committed myself." But for the most part, it's just me. Like, if I'm cooking and I'm going to set up my phone and talk to the phone, or I don't know, I'm on a plane and I just take a selfie. Like, that to me comes naturally. So that's what I post.
Yes.
The person that we talked about at the beginning of this, who's redoing her daughter's bedroom on a weekend, maybe that's what comes naturally to
Right.
her, like she obviously is set up to have that be what she posts. Now, does that mean that I need to be posting what she posts? Absolutely not. And if I tried to, it probably wouldn't feel authentic. It wouldn't feel like me.
Yeah.
So I think, so many people are like, "Oh, I need to post more." And I'm like, no, you don't.
I know.
If you needed to post more, if you wanted to post more, you would. And you don't want to post more. That's why you're not posting more. Or maybe it's the wrong season or whatever you want to, blame it on. But to say, "Oh, I need to post more," or, "Oh, I need to put myself out there more," or, "Oh, I need to do more speaking engagements," it's like, I don't know if that's just guilt. And I don't think that helps. I don't think that helps any business owner. I don't think that helps any of us. Really, at the end of the day, whatever it is that we're doing is enough.
Yes.
And I think that's important to remember. Like, what you're doing is novel. It's interesting. It's enough. It's just the storytelling behind it and figuring out what medium to get that story out that can be really challenging. Right. So, like, I do think that there's an opportunity for a lot of people, especially designers, because what they're doing, I mean, you don't care about the wood on the ceiling, but look, I have wood on my ceiling.
Yes.
I care a lot. Right. And there's a lot of people who are like,
oh yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on this Zoom call and they're like, "Wait, what is that going on behind you? Is that a fake background?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually in my bedroom because I'm still building out my studio." It's a long story, but I'm like, "No, that's the ceiling in my bedroom." And they're like, "Oh my God, what species of wood is that? How did you decide the spacing? Who put that up there? Did you put the lights in and the speakers beforehand or after? And like, does it match the wall? And what's the wallpaper? Wait, what?" So like from that standpoint, imagine you're a designer and you're just hopping on a Zoom and suddenly you realize, wow, I could have talked about this wood ceiling for 15 minutes happily.
Right.
The things that you're already doing, that's enough. You don't have to do anything extra. And I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot of times, right? Especially when it comes to trying to differentiate yourself or you said stand out, right? How do I make myself stand out? You already stand out. It's just a matter of getting that story out there and believing that what you're doing is interesting enough, because it is.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. It's so true. I you know what? It's when you talk about it's natural for you to get on a plane and you plane and do a thing it's like my team will be like, "Okay, Lou, you're going here. Make sure you get a pic." And I'm just like, "Oh," and then like 5 days later, they're like, "Where's the pics?" I'm like, "Yeah, no." But meanwhile, everywhere I go, people take a picture with me and they're like, "Do you mind?" I'm like, "No, thank you. Yes. Take a picture with me. Just tag me in it so my team gets the picture." You know what I mean? It's like, it's not my thing. I just think as a boomer, I don't have that gene. I don't know where it is. It's not in my DNA. But I always say, yeah, but maybe there's, maybe you want to look at 1,400 episodes on 2 podcasts. This is where I show up. This is the thing that I do without thinking, without debating, without, not wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the nice thing is now with the way social media is, and obviously social media is constantly changing. But right now, I mean, your team can take, you're here for hours, right?
Yes.
Like literally every day you're talking and this is content. So you're happy, you're engaged. Yeah. This is what you want to be doing. Yeah. They can take that and they can cut it into endless social media. You don't have to take the selfie on the plane. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it. You know what I mean? You should push back on them for that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they know me. It's a long time. It's like a marriage. They're like, "Okay, just one or two. Like, we don't have a going out of town shot. We were using the same going out of town shot for 4 years." I'm like, "Okay, you're right." Like, on a plane again. There I am. Whatever. Anyway, all right. So you have news, though. You have news coming up.
I
Right
do
around.
have a lot of news.
Tell us your news.
So in case you missed it, I have a new show on HGTV, which I'm super excited about. It's called Roast My Rental. And it is unlike anything I've ever done with HGTV. And it's unlike anything HGTV has ever done. So it's the comedian Leslie Jones and myself, who I have to tell you guys, Leslie Jones, like, I didn't know her before this show. I had listened to her book, which if you haven't listened to she won awards for this
I'm
audiobook.
writing it down.
Is it is, you know what it is? It's authentic.
Yeah.
We keep using that word. It is so real and it's so good. Anyway, I had listened to her book, but I didn't know her. And of course I've seen her on Saturday Night Live and like, I'm a huge fan, but I didn't know her. On the flip side, she didn't know me, but she is the ultimate HGTV fan. And so she is obsessed with HGTV, has been for years. And finally, the stars just aligned and we were able to make this show called Roast My Rental. So basically, it's short-term rental owners who have signed up to get roasted by Leslie Jones. And she goes in and she roasts them, you guys. And it's hilarious. And it is, oh my gosh. And then she's like, okay, I've been really hard on you. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to help you. Meet my friend Jasmine. And I come in and, do kind of the typical what I do, HGTV thing. But it's different because it's a short show and it's also, we're not like ripping down walls or anything like that, which anybody that's seen my show, you guys know my hashtag, I take on big projects. But these are big projects in a different way. They're quick fixes because these owners, they need the income from these short-term rentals. So yes. I only have maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 days before the next booking comes in where I have to get in there and just turn these rentals over and get people back in and really, help these folks who just got roasted by Leslie Jones. But it was a really fun. We just finished filming it. It premieres on Friday, July 24th at 9:30 p.m., which is a fun time slot. I've never had a time slot on a Friday night like that late. I'm in bed. I don't know how I'm going to watch it. The other news I have is that I am actually pregnant. I have my third baby on the way. So nice. Yeah, that's exciting. So that's also been announced at this point. But
when's the baby due?
We're due October 23rd.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We're super excited. So, so I have a lot going on, but I hope that this new show is, a big success. And if nothing else, Leslie got her moment on HGTV. So that's really fun. And I got to hang out with her, which is really fun.
Yeah. So it sounds like the baby is timed well between seasons and filming.
You know what? I don't know. Who knows? I mentioned earlier on, but like, being on a TV show, there's no, everything's unknown and that's okay. So we'll just see how it all plays out, and I've become very zen in my old age, just being like, it is what it is. There's a lot of things that are out of my control. All the things I just mentioned actually are out of my control. I have no control over TV shows. I have no control over when or how my baby gets here, how it goes. I'm completely given up. So,
that's fun.
But it's super exciting times.
One other question I was thinking of, I was going to ask you, and it seems like, so you and your husband were together before HGTV shows came along. And was there any point where, there's a couple ways it could have gone. Like you get knee deep into it, you start doing one and you enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. And a partner could be like, hey, pal, yeah, no, I'm not up for these 12-hour days, 6 months in a row. Or the partner could be like, that's so cool, I support you. And then all of a sudden it's like, but now we have a baby. And so was it smooth sailing? Because your life becomes, when you talk about the calendar and the schedule that a TV show requires and that being up. And so now maybe you have 5 days in a row where real life is back here, like real life things are happening and you're smiling. So maybe by the time you get back, you're just like, there's no smiles left for anybody. 0 smiles left. So I wasted them all today. You're not getting any. I just feel like there's a lot of personal dynamics that need to be respected by both the partners, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, you're spot on. Luckily I have a lot of smiles, but there are definitely days where I come home and I'm like, I can't talk anymore.
Yeah, 0
I just
smiles
can't.
Left. 0
my face hurts from smiling and I can't talk. I had the best day. I can't wait to show you about it. You can see it on TV, but right now I just need to like take a shower, eat some food, and go to bed because I'm
Yeah, and
done.
I have no room for your day, good or bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
so it is, it's a really hard, I think it's, again, I keep saying this, it's not for everybody, right? Like my husband and I, we've been together since college. We were college roommates, completely like platonic, just moved into a 2-bed together, thought it was going to be like maybe a 1-year lease. And here we are
How
still, we've never moved out. We've
interesting.
been together ever since.
Oh my God, that's so
We've been through
interesting.
a lot of changes, a lot of seasons. I mean, to say we grew up together is an understatement, right? Like we've been
Yeah.
through so much. So from that standpoint, I think this is, luckily we kind of trained for this, if that makes sense. Like we have the background where it's like, okay, we started as college roommates. We got through that. Okay. Now we graduated. We're going to go into like young adulthood. And we kind of got through that. Okay. Now we're moving into whatever's next. And we've done it all together. And so I give him so much credit. He's so understanding and supportive. And, he cooks most of the meals in our house.
Mm.
With, all these parents are like, oh, we're 50-50. No, like legit, like 50-50. And sometimes, I step it up when I'm not filming and I'm 60-40 or whatever. And then there's times where he steps it up and he's got to be 80-20, And so
Yeah.
like, for example, the show that I was just on, Roast My Rental, we filmed in California. And so we moved from California about 1.5 years ago. So we still have a place there because all of our friends and family and everything, but it's small and it's set up for vacation. We were there with the family. I commuted for 3 weeks and then we moved the whole family. We all went for 3 weeks. And so you can imagine we were in this small little apartment. I'm
Yes.
gone 12 plus hours a day out in LA doing what it is I do. I get back. I mean, he's a superhuman, like, and I think we both have this ability to like step it up when we need to, and that not everybody has that. So I give him so much credit. And, having you have to have a partner who's like down and gets it.
Yeah.
Occasionally he's like, he gets burnt out on it too.
No, I'm sure.
I get
Look,
that,
it's a human, but I think what it is it's the my brain says that I imagine that however often the cadence is, whether it's seasonally, yearly, monthly, whatever, but there has to be a mechanism where you're probably checking in with each other. You good? I'm taking this on. You're good. We're like it's not a like I can't imagine it's a railroad. It's just like, the train stopped, the HGTV TV station stopped at your door and you just got on and said, okay, see you bye. Like I got to imagine there's constant talking, reframing. Does this still work for us? Like, because it seems like you have a really good relationship and deep love and respect for each other. And that doesn't happen by two trains going in opposite directions or two trains in the same direction, but on different tracks. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to be on the same page. I wish that it was, I mean, I I wish that there was like a more, what's the word? Like prescriptive, I guess,
Or
way to say like,
formal.
yeah, like, oh, we follow this method, or like, oh, we
No, but
have
I just
these.
feel like you respect each other and tune in, I think is what I'm hearing.
Oh, there's a lot of communication for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's important. And then I think, we've, like I said, we've grown up together. So we've been through it enough where it's like, we know we can do hard things. We
Yeah.
know that, everything is a season. And so
Yeah.
that helps a lot where it's like, yeah, and not just a season of a show, like a season
But
of
see,
life, right?
yes. Yeah.
And I think, like, again, it's, we got a dog in college, right? And so like, even that, like I look back at that and I'm like, that helped us so much in the sense that like we grew together. We had this dog, we had to learn how to raise it, we had to take care of it, to take it to the vet, we had to pay the bills, we had to like all these things that just like slowly but surely we've been together for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So 20 years of like getting ready for whatever's next.
I
And I
love
think
it.
he knows like he's very ambitious. I'm also very ambitious. And so
Yeah.
he knows, I think in my mind, I'm just getting started, and he's like, oh, geez. And I'm like, no, seriously. Like, I'm 41 years old. I've got a whole career ahead of me. I've got a whole life ahead of me. You don't even know. And he's like, I know, I don't know.
He knows you.
So,
He knows you.
so from that standpoint, it is just kind of like a train, he's along
Yeah.
for the ride. But on the flip side of that, yeah, there's a lot of communication. There are check-ins. There's a lot of calendaring, a lot of lists.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff that, I think people maybe discount of just how much organization it takes to run a successful household, to have a successful marriage, to have just to have the time to even, Memorial Day is coming up. What are we going to do? Or like we travel a lot still. We do a lot of vacations, but it takes a lot of planning, a lot of planning.
Yeah. For me, there is a in syncness that needs to happen with a successful couple, especially a successful couple with a lot on their plate. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't sometimes are on two tracks in the same direction, but it has to always come back. You have to, otherwise it then becomes, well, what are we even doing this together for? Like we're not, you know what I'm saying? And so I just am picking up a lot of in syncness with you guys, and
we try. I think there's also like the village I mentioned earlier, but like having people around you, good people that support you and are have the same goals.
And
whether they want to have them or not. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is what we're doing,
respect
everybody.
yours.
Let's go. But having people that are on, just on the same page is really helpful.
Yeah.
So it takes a village. It really does. And every single project, I'm so hands-on still with my projects, and probably to a fault a lot of times, but that's something I'm working on. But at the same time, I love it. And so being so hands-on, the more kids we add, the harder that gets. So it's it's phasing itself out naturally. I'm going to have no say soon, but just figuring it all out. How's it all going to happen? How are we going to get this done? That kind of thing. So,
well, I guess in a nutshell, to kind of tie it up in that particular point, is a busy, successful life that you lead is, the analogy is no different than, it doesn't take 5 minutes or even 5 hours to build that thing under the staircase. And it isn't all sunshine and unicorns. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of communication and a lot of making sure there's alignment in why are we doing the things that we're doing in order to make it look so much fun to be on a TV show and have, this great life.
You know what? I think it also takes a lot of celebration, and that's something that people don't talk about that much. My production company years ago, they kind of planted this seed in my head where they're like, you need to celebrate the small wins. You need to celebrate, unapologetically celebrate. And I do that still to this day. Like we get balloons, we get flowers, we get champagne, like whatever it may be. Like we work so hard. And even if it's just like a really beautiful meal, that's why I take a picture of it and post it. Cause I'm like, this is worth it. Like, look how cool this is. Like, look how great this is. Not to brag, but more to have that internal moment of pause that just says like, hey, you're doing a good job, or like, hey, this is what brings you happiness and you're doing it. Good job. Way to go. And it's that internal celebration that I think really helps build incrementally that overall happiness. I talk about that a lot, and I truly believe it. I participate in it. I'm an active member in trying to build happiness. And that celebration is a huge part of it.
I love that. That's awesome, Jasmine. Now, before I let you go, you've done a lot of interviews, TV and podcasts and all the things. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you're like, oh my goodness, please don't close this without asking me about this thing? Do we cover most of it? I think.
Well, I think you've realized I could talk all day. I know you could talk all day. Of
course.
So, we'd be here just endlessly talking. But,
right. But is there a key thing that you always like to share or say or anything? And don't feel a pressure to do it. I just didn't want to leave it if you were waiting for, my goodness, give me the chance to say the thing.
No, not at all. Thank you. I feel like I've said a lot.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have to tell you, I really have enjoyed getting to know you. I have a lot of admiration for what you're doing. Listen, no matter what anybody in our industry, we can have the agreement that yes, HGTV is not realistic, but it's a business like any other. You're attacking it. You're executing it within running a business and a life. And that is to be, to your point, celebrated, Jasmine. And I admire you for what you're accomplishing. So thank you for being here today and sharing it with us.
Well, thanks for having me. And thanks for this platform. It brings a lot of designers together. And I think it's really important.
Thank you. Talking to Jasmine, you almost forget that she is this amazing HGTV powerhouse in a good way, right? The things that have gotten her where she is today are the things that matter for all of us. Hard work, understanding where to put your time and focus, maximizing your network, or as she puts it, your bubble. But what I want to focus on is this idea that you are already doing something unique and special and you. And that tuning into that, is the best way to stand out. We all want that Fred Burns only or that Rachel Bozick gold mine. And by the way, I would say if you're newer to the show and I say these things and you're not sure what I mean by your Fred Burns only or your Rachel Bozick, who's now Rachel Johansson, gold mine, we will link those episodes in the show notes because they are master classes on figuring out how to tap into the differentiators about you and your business that are probably sitting right under your nose. And here's the thing, it's easy to get stuck on this. It's hard to know what's special about how you specifically do the work of design. So you can get caught up in it and think, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I not supposed to be leaning into? All the things. But what we've heard time and time again from people who have found their lane, their niche, is that they followed what they really loved doing, right? This is where Jasmine is, telling us her path the same way. And it also reminds me of guests that we've had on the show, Kate Wood, who focus on historic preservation, or Lindsay Hunter, who is the equestrian interior designer. They found what they loved and they embraced it. And in both cases, when they committed to what seemed like an off the mainstream path, something that made both of them, both Kate and Lindsay, question if they were doing the right thing. Question, will anybody really want this? Once they each did it, they found that it was everything. Their projects, their clients, the work, it all lines up now for them. They are each working in their joy and with people who love and respect what they can bring. So we'll link those episodes in the show notes as well. Now, this ties back into exactly what Jasmine was talking about. She was discovered by doing what she loved and documenting it. It doesn't work if you chase whatever you think people want to hear and try to change who you are and what your business does. The message is over and over again, be you, and the rest follows. There's something freeing in this realization. If you love what you do and you follow what you're passionate about, and you are willing to say no to what you don't love, then everything else does become easier. Your mission, vision, and values become clear. Where you need to focus your time becomes clear. Your gold mine or your only becomes clear. You don't have to contrive these things if you just build them around what you already love doing. And along with loving what you do, there's another important takeaway from this conversation with Jasmine. Embracing the season of life you're in. I love that Jasmine brought this up because it's something I genuinely believe. We move through seasons when we are slammed, right? Seasons where the kids need more of us, seasons when we can pour more into our business, seasons where maybe one spouse or the other is carrying the extra weight, right? When you know your time is limited and you have to be selected about where your focus goes and you trust that the season will shift and things will come back around, that can give you, what can I say? It can give you the juice to last that season, okay? And, this comes up in my chairman of the board coaching a lot, as well as in conversations when I meet you at live events, that this being smart about your time and intention and energy and goals and feeling like you have to do it all now, but maybe you do have small children or, it is the season for your spouse to be traveling every week so you can't take the projects you want, or maybe you're helping out with parents and all the things. And feeling like if you don't get to do the thing in your business now, you're never going to get to. And I need you to know you have time. You do. The universe works things the way it's supposed to work. I started this podcast as a side hustle at 53 years old. You have time, okay? And this is why Jasmine is such an #smart lady, and balancing all of these things, right? I really love the way she put her thoughts together in this and the way she described, some of the concessions that she makes and some of the decisions that she makes, but she's making them for a season, for a time, and her family has discussed it and talked about it and made agreements around it. Okay. And what we did was we kind of put some of her best tips together in a goodie for you. So if you head over to luannigara.com/goodies, you can download that for free. All right. So Jasmine, thank you for showing up today and just being so delightful and such a breath of fresh air. And I cannot wait to see the new show when it comes out in just a couple of weeks. And it sounds like it's going to be a riot. And so you too look out for her new show, Roast My Rental. All right. Thanks tons for joining me today. Decide to be excellent, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of Luann Nigara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or Luann University, go to luannigara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to windowworksnj.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.